Yo, people, lateness is greatness. Welcome to London Club's Carnage.
Look what it says.
What's that? Tuples Runners Up Army. I don't know. You know what? Yeah, I forgot I haven't spoken to you since that final, innit? So that's deserved. Lee, Corey, Toby, up in the building, regular casting crew. You already know what time it is. People. Well, Toby, I'll let you start because you're the first one to be in and the first one to be out later on because you're busy, bro. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Well, unfortunately, you lot won yesterday, so that's sort of tainted my barrage of insults I was going to throw at you today. But listen, we move. I can make wine out of water, so I'll work with what I've got. So yeah, Thomas Tuchel's runners up army. Chelsea winning DNA, proper Chelsea. 8 finals lost out of the last 11 finals you've played.
Oh, how come you know this stats?
I mean, three FA Cup finals lost in your last 5 FA Cup final appearances, and coincidentally, you've always lost to the inferior side against Arsenal twice, and now against Leicester. But you think we're just going to come here and just talk about your win against Leicester yesterday as if nothing's happened? Nah, none of that. You wore a suit. Remember, you wore a suit to your stream on Friday. FA Cup final day.
No way.
You wore a suit. So you put on 3 layers just to take an L to Arsenal. You put on a tie just to take an L to Leicester, sorry. And big up to Leicester as well. It couldn't have happened to a nicer club. They honestly deserve it, and I'm happy they got that win at your expense. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I put on a suit because I came serious. Unfortunately, my team didn't. That seems like the main topic. I don't know, but Corey, how you doing, bro? Before we get into that,
yeah, I'm all right. I'm conscious of not slating the Europa Conference because we're sliding there at the minute.
Oh, is it?
And all of a sudden, these bottles of Tottenham Hotspur are just kicking in and around. So. I'm sweating on tonight. Big Sam gonna come out and put us to the sword. I don't know what's gonna happen, mate. It's really tense at the minute, but other than that, I'm all right.
And Lee, bro, how are you doing? Do you know what I'm saying? How you doing, bro?
Fresh off of the back of my little spat with Pep last night. You know, I was trying to tell him to take our tech back. He was having none of it. But yeah, I'm good, man. It's match day. We've got Crystal Palace, and no doubt we will win. Because this is what we do at the end of a season when no pressure's on, no pressure champions. And no doubt we'll probably sneak our way into Europa League and everyone will want a statue built for the fella. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm good, man.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I mean, does everybody agree the FA Cup's the main attraction this week, is it?
It certainly was enjoyable, yeah. I did enjoy it, mate. It was good.
I mean, listen, I've spoken on this game quite a lot, but I want to get I'll get Lee's point of view first because listen, I don't know if you made us favourites going into it. I know you've said that you think we'll win the Champions League, but for me that game was all about mentality just being again off because against you it was off in the game previous, and I hope that would be maybe the catalyst for change or something in the FA Cup final. But Leicester weren't even at their brilliant best in my opinion, but they still managed to roll us over. So what did you make of it all?
You started slow. Like Chelsea, when they've been good under Tuchel, which is most of the time, have started quick. You might not have got the goal quick normally. Like, sometimes you have scrambled wins, but you normally you normally come out the traps pretty quick. Last night in the first half, you were all over them, man. It was mad. Yeah, it was like they were hanging on for dear life. And is there an unluckier striker than Timo Werner, by the way? Like last night was just a joke. That guy can't catch a break, mate. But in terms of the cup final, I'd say Kasper Schmeichel's probably the most underrated goalkeeper in this league. Yeah, them 2 saves he made were unreal, man. Like the one from I think it was Mason Mount, that was brilliant. But the one he made low down to tip onto the post as well. What a save!
Yeah,
like unbelievable save. But listen, that goal was worthy of winning a cup final. Yeah, can we just have that out there? That was sick.
Oh my gosh,
it was sick. And you just people are moaning that it could have been handball and this and that. Listen, it didn't get given and it went in the top bins. No keeper in the world saves that. And I see so many of your fans crying about Kepa. Like, What about Thiago Silva turning his back on it?
Mm.
Like an experienced centre-back, one of the best centre-backs I've seen in my lifetime, and he just turned his back like a baby. Like, oh no, the ball's coming. Do you know what I mean? It's like mad. And Reece James obviously giving the ball away to start that. But I think I was happy for Leicester, man. I was really happy for them. Do you know what Toby said? They're such a good club, man. They're well run. They don't go and spend stupid amounts of money. Normally, their scouting spot on pretty much 90% of the time. And Brendan Rodgers, fair play to him, man. Because listen, a lot of people don't rate him. I don't think he's top tier. But what he's done at Leicester after leaving what would have been a treble for him, that was a big call, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And they might bottle top 4 again, but would it really be bottle? They've got the worst squad, as in a whole squad out of the teams competing. Yeah, like their first 11's decent, but once you scratch the surface, they got nothing, man. So for the fact that they've been up there for 2 seasons straight
is impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. But listen, if you ask any Leicester fan whether they want top 4 or the FA Cup, I'm sure they would have picked the FA Cup at the start of the season, innit?
Yeah,
So,
Gary Lineker did tweet that. Yeah, Gary Lineker did tweet that, and I think, I mean, look,
I wouldn't know. I blocked him years ago.
It seems like Leicester fans, well, Leicester as a club will take the FA Cup over the top 4, or maybe Leicester fans more, and Chelsea. It seems a lot of people are saying, listen, top 4 over the FA Cup. I don't really always agree with that. But Toby, do you feel like one game was a consequence of the other? Do you feel like us losing the FA Cup and the Amate video, which everybody kind of laughed about, but maybe that added the extra motivation plus with the fans to then come back yesterday and win? So do you feel like the 2 games kind of like mirrored each other hand in hand?
Not really, because I think in normal circumstances, you should be beating Leicester.
Yeah.
You have a better squad. You were able to rotate your team more so than they were. You have a manager as good as their manager. Some would argue maybe he's better. I don't know. But I think, of course, the FA Cup win probably drove your team a little bit to say, you know what, we've bottled the FA Cup. We can't bottle top 4. Like, just get this done. But as I said, in normal circumstances, you should be beating Leicester at home. And let's be real, I love the fairy tale story that happened, and we live for fairy tale stories in football. But in football, there's always a winner and there's a loser. And the team that loses, you have to be brutally honest as to why they've lost and what their chances were heading into the game. And let's be real, 8 out of 10, probably I'd say 7, 8 out of 10 times, you expect Chelsea to be beating Leicester in the final, and you expect Chelsea to be beating Leicester at home. I think in your last, I can't even remember how many games, Leicester, I don't think Leicester have ever won at Stamford Bridge. I don't think they've ever won at Stamford Bridge. Even the year when they won the league, did they win at Stamford Bridge?
I can remember. No, not that. I remember.
We were the only team who done the double over them that year as well.
Yeah, I think they drew. So for me, yesterday's result, I expected Chelsea to win. Stronger side, been able to rotate your players more, and you're playing at home. I expected you lot to get 3 points. But I was praying for a draw. You know I predicted.
I know you was.
Hey, Jose Perez, he's got blood on his hands, bro.
Oh, my days. You can't be missing that. You can't be doing that, can you? Let's be honest. It's criminal. If they don't get in top 4, they'll look back, they'll replay that moment over and over again. If that's Vardy on the end of it or Iheanacho, that's going in. I was gutted for them, to be fair. But you lot winning means that Tottenham Leicester's got something on it, which means that we might be able to creep back in Europa. So for us, it's actually better.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? Yeah, the game yesterday, I don't want to analyze it too much right now because I feel like, listen, as Toby said, and as one of the
well, that's a surprise actually, because normally when they win, you chat shit for about 45 minutes.
No.
That's true. That's true.
No, because you know what it is about that win, and the Patreon on the podcast that I work on last night said it really well. The Byline, we was expected to win, we had to win, and anything else would have been a freaking disgrace after what happened over the weekend. So job done, and yes, it was emotional. Fans were there, and there was a fight, and it was quite entertaining from that perspective. Outside of all of that, it was actually just exactly what had to happen. There was no other outcome in terms of what would have been respectable, especially after Amate's video and everything that surrounded all that. To not win against Leicester again would have just been embarrassing. So I really more want to get onto, because listen, Toby's not with us for too long, and I feel like it would be.
No, I am.
It would be disrespectful if I didn't bring up a certain club captain.
Mention it.
But before I do that, let me just go through some super chats. So, look who's talking about losing Tottenham fan. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. We can't keep using this. We're gonna just have to. We're gonna have to just take our humble pie in it. It's been a peak week for us last week. We're gonna have to just take that out. Mason's Europa League conference levels. That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good response to the name. Listen, what happened? Listen, Rudiger is a proper Black Air Forces roadman. After
my brother, he was on smoke last night. What was he on, bro? Like, not only did he had two of them, and he's just standing. You know when Ricardo Pereira pushed him. I was like, yeah. Have you seen the size of Rudiger? And you've got that little man syndrome, yeah. And I was just, but the way he was just holding two players off, I was just like. But when he did that little roulette. Yeah, and then he done the little dive at the end of it, bro. That little sequence was mad. It was like, do you know what? Yeah, I know your fans have cussed him all season pretty much until Tuchel rocked up. He's been flawless pretty much since, isn't it? I know he scored an own goal in one of the first games under Tuchel, but since then, he has been the defender that you all thought you'd signed. Yeah, he's been absolutely quality, man. And if we had a defender like him, we wouldn't be 10th.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Rudiger, it's going to be interesting to see if we ever switch back to a back four, whether he can go back to that and show these levels and also lead a team and be the leader of the defense and not just the guy who, yes, he does his shithousery and he definitely fights and whatnot, but actually organizing a defense outside of all of this passion and all that kind of stuff. I want to actually see if you can actually lead and organize a defense, but we won't be able to really see that, in my opinion, until Thiago Silva leaves and maybe we switch to a back four, which obviously, that's more on the individual and less on the structure. But we'll go back to Chelsea later. I feel like, listen, Harry Kane handed in, I don't think he actually handed in a transfer request actually officially. I think what he said is he just wants to leave. So I first of all, I don't really know the difference. I don't know why the terminology
it's all semantics, isn't it? Like, oh, he's not officially handed in form. He's not done this. Who the fuck cares? He wants to leave. Like he wants to leave. I saw Alistair Gold is very reliable. He came out yesterday and said he understands that Kane's not handed in anything formally. BBC yesterday put an article out saying, oh, Harry Kane's not handed anything formally. Fabrizio said Harry Kane's not handed anything formally, but then Matt Law saying he has, Dan Kilpatrick saying he has, etc. I don't care. I don't care whether it comes today. I don't care whether it comes on Sunday. After Euros, the guy wants to leave Spurs. It's obvious. We've been speaking about it for months and months and months. It's obvious. He wants to leave. Why would he want to stay? He is. We've spoken about this literally a gazillion times. He's the top 2 striker on the planet. He's the best striker in the league. He's 27 years old and he hasn't got a single trophy to his name. Why on earth would he want to stay at Spurs?
Does the Audi Cup not count?
You're funny. But yeah, you're funny. But yeah, why on earth do you want to stay? So for me, I'm not really stressed about the news. We expected the news, and if anything, I'm even glad it's come out. I'm glad it's come out because at least one, it tells me that Kane actually has ambition to go and win elsewhere, and two, that this board can see the fruit of their looms, can see what they've birthed. Can see all the mess that they've caused now, because now literally our best player in our most successful period, and arguably when it's all said and done, he will arguably go down as probably one of our, if not our best ever Premier League player.
So sorry to cut you off. You just said your most successful period. You ain't won fuck all.
It is our most successful period, though.
No, it ain't. You won a double in 61.
So you know what, Lee? I get what you're trying to say.
You won a double in, so you haven't won anything else that's successful.
If you want to look at it in black and white, then yes, you're
that was the last time you won the league was black and white.
Okay, cool.
you're too
cool.
quick.
You know what it is? He wanted to start in it. Fair enough. But for me, at times, for us, for you, success is black and white trophies. Cool. For us, success is subjective because we don't win. So when I say our most successful period, we went from being flirting around the top 4, finishing in top 4 occasionally, to being a consistent top 3, top 4 side, our highest place finishes in the league, and progress in the Champions League. So for us to undo all of that and then expect that this guy's just going to be like, yeah, cool, I'm still one of your own, I'm still going to stay here, get real. So for me, it just tells me two things. Kane wants to leave. The club know they're in deep shit and they need to fix up. And 3, it then incentivizes other bidder clubs to make their offers. So it's going to be a long, protracted summer. Harry Kane saying he wants to leave doesn't mean he's going to leave. It just means that these clubs are now incentivized to make bids for him. So if they come and make a bid that's suitable, he'll go. If they come and make a bid that isn't suitable, he won't go.
Yeah, it'll just down tools instead.
That'd be mad. It'd be mad if you did that, you know.
Does that sound like Harry Kane to you, though?
Well, that's the thing, innit?
Harry Kane has celebrated more trophies as an Arsenal fan as he has as a Tottenham player.
So wait, Lee, is this what you're gonna do the whole stream?
Lee's got a lot to do.
I even teed everyone up on my video earlier. I said I'm ripping Toby the whole of the stream.
Do you know what it is? I think you guys kind of shot yourself in the foot as a club when your slogan became the game is about glory. When did that slogan come into practice?
It's been there. It's not just that, it's been there. Or there is facet as well, like to there is to do, like our slogans represent a club that takes risk, that is challenging for all honours, and we're anything but that right now. So
mate, your club emblem is a chicken sitting on a basketball, bruv. How could you even take that club seriously?
Oh, sorry, yours is a cannon. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, because we're firing trophies in, mate. We fire trophies in. Until Saturday just gone, we were the current FA Cup holders, mate. You'd love to win one of them.
This is like everybody arguing about what.
You're not in the current cup holder. You're not the current FA Cup holder. Where are you in the table?
Yeah, irrelevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. Listen, we're the third most successful club in this country, mate. You can't take that away from us. Come back when you've won more league titles than Huddersfield.
Lee, thanks for the history lesson. Thanks for the history lesson, yeah? Thank you. Thanks for the history lesson.
Oh man, do you know what's a shame? If Arsenal were competing at the level that they were, they'd have a well, do you know what? No player since Sol Campbell's ever moved from Tottenham to Arsenal, but Harry Kane did used to support Arsenal. You'd maybe have a case there to try and take it.
He'd be buzzing if they come in. He'd be like, "See you later, lads." It's mad. Kane gets linked with Chelsea. That ain't happening in a month for Sundays. I'm telling you now. It don't matter what you offer. Tottenham aren't selling to you lot. Do you feel like there's a little bit of hope, or do you just?
If I'm being honest, right, I honestly give it like a 0.5%, 1% chance, and the only reason why I even give it that is because Chelsea have the money to give Tottenham that they want, probably. But after all of that, I just don't think. First of all, I don't think Tottenham are ever going to sell to us. They showed that with the Modric deal. They didn't allow that deal to go through, even though I think Modric was looking to do the deal. But he wanted they was like nope, and they even took less money the year after from Real Madrid to get it done. So I think Tottenham would actually take a deficit on Harry Kane to not let him go to Tottenham, to not let him go to Chelsea. And the second point is I don't even think Harry Kane would go to Chelsea, because we can say what we want about Harry Kane now wanting to leave. He's been very, very loyal to Tottenham fans, and he clearly loves the club. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why he's been here to this point. So then to then go and break hearts and join Chelsea when he could join anyone, I don't think he's going to do that, if I'm being completely honest. So the likelihood of Harry Kane coming to Chelsea is just way too slim, because we're not the only club interested, and it just doesn't make sense for him to do that to Tottenham when he's been there so long. If he had just arrived at Tottenham and then said, right, you man are not winning anything, I'm gone, and there was no emotional attachment, then you could give it a bit more leg room. But because of everything that's happened, I just don't see it happening. So, I mean, Corey, who do you think he'll go to? Because there's options. Man United and Man City also tracking him as well.
Yeah, he looks like a Man United player. Like, he looks like a player that Man United would go out and spend a fortune on. But I do think Man City and him would be a great fit. Not for the league, because they literally destroy everyone every single week, and he'd be getting 30 plus goals and 20 assists. It'd be actually frightening. But I think City are bluffing with the money. I know they say they're not going to spend it, but I guarantee you, if he's available and he wants to come, they will find the money for him. 27, you can get 4 years out of him. He's going to get chances galore. I think he goes there. Someone said to me the other day about PSG. I thought maybe if Tottenham don't want to sell to a Premier League club, that might come into it. But my money would be on Man City by the end of the window.
I would say that Harry Kane wants to stay in the Premier League, no?
I agree, but I'm talking listen, Daniel Levy, from what we know, he's going to play hardball. He's not going to make it easy for him either to leave the club. Whoever pays the money, it's got to be extortionate. And he might say to him, the only way you can get out of Tottenham is PSG. In which case, what does he do? Does he stay or just go and walkies and not play for Tottenham.
Opportunity to play with Neymar and Mbappe. It's not the worst deal.
Front three, fucking hell.
Unreal.
I don't think that deal's going to happen.
No, neither do I.
I think Poch would want Harry Kane at PSG, but I just think, of course, that would be an excellent front three. But I just think they sunk 50 M's on what is looking like a dud in Icardi. They're trying to spend another 40 odd million on Moise Kean, who's had a good season for them this year. Not saying that Harry Kane isn't better than both those players put together. I just think their priorities aren't to bolster that number 9 spot. But listen, for Harry Kane, you never know. You'll move heaven and earth. If you want to ship out Icardi, you ship him out and you bring Harry Kane in. So nothing is impossible, but I just think it's unlikely.
DJ says Chelsea fans don't attack Toby. We should pity him. His whole club have done nothing in his lifetime.
Is this guy a Chelsea fan? What's your Twitter?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess he's Chelsea fans to hold fire.
Put your Twitter, honestly. Put your Twitter in the description because these people want smoke. You must not have seen what you must not want to see what I delivered to Matisse, Grandam, Anita. Don't mess with me. I don't care how shit Spurs are. I will come for your neck and I'll step on it. So put your Twitter in the comments. Put your Twitter in the damn comments.
Oh dear.
Mate,
I know we're dead food. I know we're dead food, but when I hear Tottenham fans hyping about this is our most successful period,
who's hyping, Lee? Listen,
our most successful period.
Lee, you actually said the other week that you're going to change your channel from an Arsenal channel to just a football channel because that's how fed up you are of Arsenal.
Mate, I'm going on loan to Man City next season. Don't worry about me, bruv. I'm cool.
Man. Listen, I mean, when it comes to Harry Kane, I do think Man City the favourites because first of all, Man United just renewed the contract of Cavani as well, and I think a lot of their fan base seem to say as well that their main issue is actually DM, which I would agree, and probably centre back as well. So maybe
guys, I'll be back in it. I'm on my meeting, so
no problem. Toby's coming back in a second, but. Yeah, so that's where Man United fans will tell you that most of their issues are. Man City, it honestly fits like a glove. The only thing with Man City is we've never really seen them pay this outlay up front for a player before. I think their record transfer is Ruben Diaz, who must have cost like 65 million or something around that price. Harry Kane's going to be near enough double that. So maybe if they do it in installments or they offer a player in exchange, I don't know. But there's definitely Man City. You have to make them the favourites because they need them and they got the money as well. As much as they want to bullshit and pretend like they don't, they do have the money. Shaka says Arsenal is dead food. Pipe down, Lee. I'm guessing that's from a Tottenham fan. I'm guessing.
I know we're dead. But I can't have Tottenham fans giving it about successful, bruv. No, sorry, not happening.
Alex says for TapinTobs, isn't it really high time that Leicester replace Spurs in the top? Well, do you know what? We will discuss that. That is a very big topic that I do want to discuss, and I think I probably will make that the main topic, but I'll wait for Toby to come back before we discuss that because it is one of his clubs that are at risk of dropping out, including maybe Lee as well. So I guess that debate will start afterwards. But back on to Harry Kane. I mean, do you guys? I was going to ask Toby this before he left, but we can still really talk about it. Do you guys think this will be a catalyst for not just Kane leaving, but maybe Son or other players thinking to themselves, well, if he's leaving, what the fuck am I doing here? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you think that can spiral out of control?
Hopefully. That'd be good. Get your popcorn out. It'd be buzzing, mate. For it. No, I think it would be like.
It'll be 1 minute, yeah. I'm just going to go and get a drink.
It is an opportunity. In all seriousness, it is a chance for Tottenham to get some serious capital in to go and reinvest. And I know they've got that new guy in terms of recruitment. And if they do it right, listen, the defence is awful. They need to replace it. Obviously, Kane goes out. They need to replace it as well. But I don't think their midfield's that bad. So I think if they were clever in the market and got 5 or 6 in, then they can sort of maintain or try and maintain a top 6 finish. But listen, you're not replacing Kane like for like. It's going to be a mad choice to see how they try and who they bring in. Like I would say Danny Ings would be a decent shout for them, to be honest. He'll get you goals, but he's injury prone. And that's the only thing. But I don't really care, Matisse, to be honest. I hope they fall and they end up 15.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I was having this debate with Toby before about what kind of striker can they attract in terms of can they attract a Patrick Bamford type player to come in? I'm not even trying to take the piss, but the drop off in quality from Harry Kane is going to be huge. And if Tottenham were in an upward trajectory and they just qualify for the Champions League, or they just got knocked out the semi-final of the Champions League, and they were maybe where they were under Poch or something, where they got knocked out in the final, and Harry Kane said he's leaving, then the drop-off in quality, you could say, we just reached the Champions League final, we're in the top 4, let's go and get a world-class striker. It's not going to be of the level of Harry Kane, but let's go and get one of the best strikers in Europe. But right now, who can they realistically actually attract to replace Harry Kane?
That's what I mean. I don't think they can go out and get a world-class striker. The banter thing does make me crease. You need someone that's kind of on an upward trajectory, like a 23, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think would be an okay shout. It wouldn't get you, he's not the same level, but it would go on in.
Tammy Abraham.
Yeah. No, what? Tammy wouldn't be a bad shout. It wouldn't be a bad
People
shout.
laugh.
Tammy Abraham swap plus cash.
I mean, people laugh, but that is it's not going to be him specifically, because I don't see Chelsea and Tottenham ever doing business, but that type of player is what you're looking at. Someone who's young, up and coming, has got goals in his game, and is on an upward trajectory. That's really all you can bank on. You can either go down the experience route of someone who's got goals, but they're, like a Patrick Bamford, who's had a good season, or Ollie Watkins or someone like that. And you guys are smiling, but this is the level we're talking about here. Because look at Tottenham. When they buy players, who did they buy from? They buy Højbjerg from Southampton. They buy Dot from EastEnders from Wolves. I'm never going to change from calling them that. Do you know what I'm saying? They always go and buy from these type of clubs. They don't buy from the best clubs in Europe in terms of the best players. Soldado was at Valencia, Lamela was at, I don't know, Roma or whatever. They don't buy the creme de la creme. So, and especially now the financial, yes, they're going to get the money in from Harry Kane, but how much of that is going to go towards, paying back other issues that they probably have, new stadium or whatever. I don't know.
Well, they got the loan, didn't they? They got the government grant, didn't they? The loan.
Yeah, they got loans to pay back. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Well, sacking Mourinho, now that he's at Roma, maybe that's not going to be so much of an issue. But they were desperate to be in that Super League for a reason. So I don't know how much finances is actually going to get put back in. Someone said Dominic Solanke. You might take it.
I want to got some popcorn as well. Look, just for when he comes back, I'm going to rattle him when he gets back.
Yeah, I think Luka Jovic is probably one of the best shouts I've seen. He had promise at Frankfurt and then went to Real Madrid. Didn't really work out, but he's got finishing instinct. It's a risk, though. If you bring in someone like that from abroad, you don't know if they're going to work out. So do you go with the Premier League experience? And people will laugh at Patrick Bamford and Ollie Watkins, but they had good seasons.
Man said Origi.
Oh, my days.
Origi. I was saying this on the Big Six. Do you guys even think they could even bring in a Calvert-Lewin? Because I think that's a sideways step. I don't think
I think they could. Like, I don't like them, and I don't really. I think if Tottenham came in and they offered 50 mil, I think Everton might accept. I think he might take a punt. Depends who the manager is.
100%. All this talk that Spurs, it would be a sideways move, etc., etc. It may be the case now. And yes, you can say Everton have the money and Carlo Ancelotti and stuff, but if you had to put money on who's going to finish higher than who over the next 4 or 5 years, you still wouldn't put your money on Everton.
Yeah,
Everton historically are a bigger club than Spurs, of course. Historically, they've won more.
Hang on, hold up. Based on what?
No, I said it. Everton historically are a bigger club than Spurs.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said the other way. Sorry, my apologies. I'll just see
Yeah, Everton are historically a bigger club than Spurs. They've won more league titles, etc., etc. But in the last 20 odd years, it's not even been close. It's not even been close in terms of competition. One team is significantly better than the other. One team is bigger than the other. One team finishes higher than the other. One team makes more money than the other.
Both won exactly the same. One trophy each in that time.
No, it isn't. We've won 2 trophies.
Yeah. They won.
We've won 2 trophies in 20 years.
Yeah, and they've won 1, so you're pretty much on par. Just you've got a big shiny stadium.
So because they've won as one less.
They won the FA Cup in '95.
By your logic, Wigan are as big as us as well, right? They've won a trophy as well.
No, because I'm basing it on league positions as well. They've qualified for Champions League as well in that time. Let's not forget that. Yeah.
Swansea are bigger than us as well, right?
Okay, so Swansea qualified for Champions League in that time then?
No, they didn't.
No, Swansea but Everton did under Moyes.
Yeah, and what happened? They got dumped out in the first round. They didn't even make it.
You got dumped out by Zagreb 3-0 up. What are you talking about, you joker?
In the quarterfinals
of
the Europa League. Lee. Let's get.
Bro, if you look at the league positions in the last 15 years, I guarantee you the average league finish for Everton and Tottenham is there or thereabouts the same.
It's not the same. That's a lie. We haven't finished outside. We haven't finished outside the top six if we finish in the top 6 this year, it will be our 12th consecutive season where we finished 6th or higher. So how can you say it's pretty level? It's not level. It's not level at all. There have been seasons in the last 20 years where Everton have finished above Spurs. Cool, but let's get one thing clear here. We are a much better side than Everton. We may not show it this season. We haven't been a better side this season, but as a team in my lifetime, we have been a better side than Everton. So there's no argument to be had there. If we want to talk about Europe, we've been to a Champions League final, for heaven's sake. We've actually got past the knockouts of the Champions League on multiple occasions. They can't even get into the Champions League. And when they do get into the Champions League, the one time they can't even make it past the qualifiers. When they were the last time they were in the Europa League, they didn't make it past the group stages. So so for you to say that Dominic Calvert-Lewin would not come to Spurs, I think that's disingenuous because he definitely would. I don't even want Dominic.
Is he Scouser, isn't he?
I don't even want Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But if we
feel like you can,
we can get better than him. Of course we can.
I know you can get better than him, but doesn't it make sense to invest in someone who's going to be young, up and coming in the future, and maybe re-scrap and start again?
Yeah, but we can get younger strikers who are better finishers than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a decent striker who brings the all-round game.
I can't lie, right? Real talk here. If you sign Tammy Abraham, you're finished on this platform.
Why would I would never want Tammy Abraham. I would never want Tammy Abraham. Not to start. If you gave me Tammy Abraham for a decent price to be our bench striker, I take that. But Tammy don't want to be a bench striker, and 2, Tammy is nowhere near good enough to be our first choice striker. Nowhere near.
Which is exactly why you're signing him.
Why would we sign him?
Why did you sign?
You got that fat stripper in your team that plays striker, and you're talking to me about Tammy Abraham,
and he will still outscore most of your team, and he's shit.
No, you won't. What are you on about?
Well, Lacazette's got about 15 goals this season. Who's your second top scorer?
Harry Kane.
No, second top scorer.
Son.
How many has he got?
He's got 22 goals in all competitions.
There you go. And this is the fat stripper up front, 7 behind, yeah?
He's a fat stripper. And he scored. He's a fat stripper who takes penalties as well and scores against bums.
Aubameyang takes the penalties, actually.
So Lacazette has definitely taken
one against you lot. Do you remember?
Lacazette has taken about 3 or 4 penalties this season. So let's not have this competition here, please.
The bottom line is
Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a decent striker. He's a decent striker, but Spurs need to be aiming for higher, in my opinion. I'm not saying we're gonna get someone that's on Harry Kane's level. I'm not even saying we're gonna get a quality striker. But
so name names. Who do you want?
Name names. Okay. Yeah. Danny Ings. Why are you laughing? Danny Ings is
better. He's better than Calvert-Lewin.
He is. What are you talking about?
But he's very injury prone though.
He is, but Danny Ings is comfortably better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Comfortably.
Not at all.
Comfortably.
I don't know if he's comfortable. He's definitely a better finisher.
No, he's comfortably a better player. The only thing Dominic Calvert-Lewin has over Danny Ings is the heading ability. Hold up play, I think Danny Ings does that well. Dribbling, I think Danny Ings is better. Finishing, which is the key part, Danny Ings is miles better inside and outside the box. So the
problem you've got though is they'll try and fleece you. They'll see you coming a mile away, and then he'll start picking up injuries, and you'll be stuck with this player that you get for 15 games and he gets 10 goals and he's out again, and you're struggling.
Listen, I think.
Yeah, then they'll have to bring Eddie and Nketiah off the bench.
I think. Why are people saying Danny Ings is 20? I don't care about the age. I never said that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can't get better. But I'm talking about what I want for my team right now. We need 2 strikers this summer. Yeah, if Harry Kane leaves, we already need one with Harry Kane staying. If he leaves, we need 2 strikers. Yeah. So if Harry Kane leaves, we need 2 strikers and we need a playmaker to actually come and fill Eriksen's shoes and actually fill in Harry Kane's shoes with a creative burden. So I don't really understand why there's confusion here.
So basically, Danny Ings, Michy Batshuayi, and Tammy Abraham. That's the level you're on. Let's be real here. That is the level you are on.
Level we're on, but you're the one that you lot are the team whoring yourself out to try and sign Ryan Bertrand on a free transfer, and you're talking about us. Allow it. Take a day off.
You've had your 4 years above us. Happy days. Well done. You won nothing, and we won 2 FA Cups.
Take a day off. You can't be talking about signings when you literally have the Spanish Beyblade in midfield. You can't even press. You can't press an orange, for heaven's sake. Let alone press.
Hey, let's not talk about Spaniards, bro. You got the Spanish Danny Rose at left back, yeah?
No, I rate regular.
Regular is a baller, bro. I have no worries about him, man. Danny Rose.
In fact, somebody's just put a comment in the chat. Carlos Vinicius, that's the same guy who did the Mbappe celebration against somebody who works in fucking Sainsbury's.
Vinicius is going back. Vinicius is going back. Benfica, he's not.
Comes just a shambles. Just take somewhere else, bro. Go to Leicester,
bro. Listen,
I'm going Man City.
Spurs are in the mud. Spurs are in the mud. But you asked me about my strikers. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is not as good as Danny Ings. If you gave me the choice of Danny Ings or Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I'm choosing Danny Ings every day of the week, because he is simply a better striker. If they play the same number of games, Danny Ings is going to score more goals. That's a fact. That is a bona fide fact.
It's an opinion.
It's not an opinion. It's a fact. When Danny Ings is fit and he's playing, he's going to score goals.
That's the problem. Danny Ings this season scored 12 goals in 28 games.
And how many has Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored? Like 4 more. In more appearances, like 4 more goals in more appearances.
That's league only, by the way. That's league only.
For like 3 months.
It's scored 4 more in 3 appearances more.
Listen,
I'll take Calvert-Lewin all day long.
Listen, that's you. I don't dislike Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
And he's 4 years younger.
Let him be 4 years younger. He can improve. But I want a striker. Now and a striker for the future. Simple.
Okay. To round up on this one, I just think it's going to be very interesting in the trajectory. I think it's going to be very clear the trajectory of where Tottenham are trying to go with who they replace Harry Kane with, if he goes. And that's a big if. It's not an assumption to make. I do think Man City are the favourites there. But with whoever you replace him with, and I'm not confident that you're going to replace him correctly, but
we'll see. I'm not too.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm not too. With this shit ownership and these dead recruitment or transfer committee, I'm not sure we'll spend the money wisely. That's my biggest worry.
Yeah, I have to ask as well. Well, we're gonna get into this Big Six debate in a minute, which is it's looking tasty. Corey, what happened against Brighton? Because it's going under the radar, and you're now in 7th. And last time I was speaking to you, I was going up on channel saying I think Leicester could potentially drop off, right? Which they have 2 defeats in the last 3, and I felt that West Ham, good fixtures ahead of you. I'm banking on you guys to do some business. You're going to be able to move forward. And I checked the score, and you guys are dropping points to Brighton. If you had won that game, you would have been on 61 points. And listen, you've now dropped points in the last 2 games. So listen, I didn't expect any of that to happen. But yeah, if you add to this tally, you could have been putting yourself in contention for top 4 battle properly in the last game. What's going on?
Look, I mean, the wheels are coming off a little bit. They are. You can definitely see it. Look, Declan Rice being out for the games that he was out for has been a massive miss. And I think when he comes back in for these next 2, you can see the immediate difference in it. I just think our squad's too thin. It's all right getting bashed by Spurs fans and Arsenal fans, but our squad is so thin. We can't bring on a striker. We can't bring on a centre midfielder. And unfortunately, Brighton is our bogey team. And we haven't beaten Brighton in the Premier League ever. So
big up my twin brothers.
Graham Potter. I knew it was going to happen. I knew they were going to get something. I'm happy for Cy Benrahma getting his first goal. That's 1 goal and 5 assists this season. And
that's after I ripped him last week, wasn't it? And said he ain't scored all season.
He heard, and it was a banger as well off the bar. But it was a bit of a hollow victory. I don't know, Matisse. Like at this side's had a lot of games it's had to go through consecutively, and when we come up against these low block sides, less so Brighton, or sides that are going to sit back against us, we just don't have the ideas. We've literally run out of ideas. Like even Lingard's dipped because he's coming so deep. You don't want Jesse Lingard in your own half. You want him in 10, or you want him beyond the striker. When he first come in and scoring all those goals, that's exactly where he was. But tonight's a massive game, and I've got a horrible feeling we're going to draw. And I can't be doing for Tottenham to lap us this season after the season they've had and the season we've had. We need European football now. I don't care if it's conference. I genuinely don't care. But so if we finish eighth, mate, we can't all spend this amount of money. We're not winning trophies. We are.
But you want FC Wi-Fi password away in Timbuktu next season with a thin squad? Your squad's thinner than me, bro.
I think the Europa Conference League gets 7th place, but which is where you're currently at.
Yeah.
I think if you guys get lower than Europa League now, it's disappointing.
That's what I'm saying. Our fan base is getting sucked into this idea that because we were relegation threatened at the beginning of the season, that we should be grateful if we finish 8th. I don't prescribe to that at all. We've been near and around the top 4 now for nearly 3 months.
So long. You've lost 3 out of your last 5. I'm actually so disappointed because
I'm let you all down. We're supposed to be up there.
I thought you were actually going to make it. I really did. I looked at your fixtures. I looked at Jesse Lingard moving mad, and I thought this could be it. This could actually be it. But like you said, you haven't. I don't really want to say you bottled it because again, you weren't really, meant to be here in the first place. When you look at the squad you've got and the depth, and like you said, you had a few injuries, and that really changed the landscape of the whole thing. But I don't know, man. I just thought you guys were just gonna crawl over the line and get it. I mean, Lee, what do you make of it? Because I think now the discussion becomes, instead of what we're talking about of an upward trajectory for West Ham if they made top 4, it now becomes a discussion of, well, you've got some good players. We might have to take some of these guys.
Less of that. Behave yourself. I thought we were talking about bottling it, not losing half our squad. We'll be fine, man. We'll be fine.
Yeah, but the thing is when you make, Leicester have shown this, when you make Champions League, it helps you keep your squad together. As much as you want to go and kick on and make improvements, it helps you say to a Declan Rice, well, where are you actually going? Because we're in the Champions League football right now. You're literally going to get to play Champions League football at Olympic Park. You can go next season. But now, you haven't got that bargaining tool if you're not going to make Champions League. So it becomes a situation where instead of actually building on something that's been a brilliant season, it becomes a thing as to trying to hold on to players, and it's not easy to do. Said the same thing with Newcastle when they just missed out and they finished 5th. Everyone was linked to Pape Cisse. He didn't move in the end. I think he actually might have got injured in the following season. But Demba Ba moved, Johan Cabaye moved. There were so many players that just jumped ship because that was the pinnacle and they didn't get it. And then the drop off is massive. Europa League football, it doesn't compare in the slightest.
I think if we got Europa League, we could keep Deck for 1 year. My worry would be when you get to 7th, even 8th, that someone will come in and say, listen, we'll give West Ham 60 mil, another player. And then he goes, do you know what? I might move. And you look at the Euros, if he has a stormer in there, if he performs really, really well, someone will go for him. For me, Man United talking about a striker, they need a DM. And I'm telling you now, if Man United come in through Declan, as much as he likes the club and as much as he's club or his captain at the minute, he could go. That does worry me. I've got to be honest. But I've never been in a position in my lifetime as a West Ham fan where we've been put in that situation where we've got a real sellable asset. So for me, if he has to go, you've got to get top whack for him and you've got to reinvest it right. But I've not seen our board do this once. So that would be my biggest worry.
You and Tottenham are in a similar situation where it's like, we could get funds for Harry Kane, we could get funds for Declan Rice, but do we even trust our board to reinvest it properly? Probably not.
Well, it's a tough one. Like, irrespective this summer, we need 6 or 7 for me. I think it is that much. I know we're in talks with Sam Johnston. I think you get him in as a goalkeeper, that's a great start. But it's so thin. We are in that position where we've got to go. And if you start taking Declan Rice, if someone goes for Souček, that squad's becoming negligible. Like, with all due respect to Mark Noble, I know I give him a lot of plaudits on it. He can't play centre midfield and start every game. He just can't do it anymore. So it's going to be a tough one, man. But I think Declan gives us 1 more year, unless someone comes in with a fat bid. Chelsea might. Who knows? We know what you got to like. Get Marino on the phone.
We could do. I don't think DMs are priority like it is Man United's, but it's definitely second priority, which a lot of our fans would agree on. I think striker is definitely the main priority. Pablo says, do you guys think if Spurs refuse to sell Kane, will they refuse to train and pick up a fuss? We actually spoke about this earlier on, Pablo. And we are, realistically, no, I don't think Harry Kane's going to do that because he's been too respectful to that club so far, and his attitude has been spot on. So I think, yes, he would probably suffer in silence, but at the end of the day, when you sign a long-term contract at Tottenham Football Club, you make your own bed. So listen, that's the situation. You sign the contract. Emmy says, so funny, Lee Gunner laughing at Spurs. Spurs' future looks better than Arsenal. Arsenal out of Europe again, and Tottenham will still be in Europa. United fans.
They're about to lose their best player. So and they're in about £1 billion debt, mate. We're in no debt.
Yeah.
So their future looks fucked, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I would agree. I actually think Arsenal's future looks slightly better than Tottenham. It's really two homeless men pissing in the wind at this point, because I think both of your futures don't look great. But if I had to put money on it, I would probably lean towards Arsenal, just because you've got some young players, you've got a young, you've done actually some good transfer business outside the Williams shit. You've done good business with Tierney, Gabriel. There is a nucleus to build around, and it's a big if, but if you manage to drive your owner out, which is
never happening.
It's not even close, because, without all these protests and whatnot, it's still nothing. It's not even close, but at least you have an interested buyer. Tottenham don't have that. Tottenham don't have, I don't see anybody knocking on the door to buy. Yeah,
Tottenham. The thing is that bid was rejected. Apparently, he put a statement out the other day saying it was rejected. And if the Cronkies don't need the money, apparently they said. And if that ever changes, then he'll go back in, which tells me he weren't going back in with another bid. He lowballed it just to boost Spotify. I ain't dumb. Everyone jumped on the hype. Yeah? He didn't have the money. We knew he didn't have the money, so he went with a low ball, low bid, knowing it'd be rejected. Brother, imagine if you've got £4 billion and you're going to somebody who's got £8 billion. The £8 billion guy is going to go, fuck are you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's how it is with billionaires, man. There's only 3,000 of the fuckers on the planet. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's a big dick syndrome thing, isn't it? Like, I've got a bigger dick than you because I've got 4 billion more. He was never selling it. Let's be real here. But mate, I couldn't give a shit if we get Europe or not. I don't even want to watch the game tonight. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like this club has just pissed me off all season, and we're not going to change. Like, I've seen so many things about next season. The £200 million war chest. Yeah, all right, Charles Watts. Chat shit. Fucking hell. Like James Benge, another one. Bro, they're all the same. And then they come out and they just Ryan Bertrand for free.
Season? We hear this every single season with Arsenal. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think, to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't think Ryan Bertrand would be the worst sign in the world for free, because he's going to back up Kieran Tierney, and he's a steady Premier League left back. Like, it's not a big deal, because that's not even an area that you need to address. I mean, Kolasinac is there, I guess, or maybe you just want to have some depth. It's not really a big problem. But I think, you do that after you do that knowing that you are going to spend on a playmaker, which you need, or you're going to spend on a DM, which you don't have, and you don't even have a DM in the squad. People talk about a playmaker, you don't have a DM either. Your midfield is very
That's what I'm saying. People think Thomas Partey's a DM.
He's not a DM. Thomas Partey is not a lone DM. He's a box-to-box midfielder. And the quicker Arsenal fans get this into head, I've seen Arsenal lineups with Partey sitting and then like Auer and Smith Rowe, and I'm like, do you even know Thomas Partey, or is it just me here?
Mate, Thomas Partey, the amount of times he spoons a shot out the stadium, mate. Yeah, well, how many other DMs are smacking shots? Yeah, let alone, like, he spends more time in the opposition half than he does in ours. He's been crap this season, by the way. But you know what? Next season, I ain't got to worry about him, mate. I'll be watching Ruben Diaz. I'll be watching banging him in for Man City. Riyad Mahrez masterclasses every week. You know what I mean? It's going to be bliss, bruv, watching proper teams. You know what I mean?
I told you, Lee, from a business perspective, Lee's Leicester. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? That's because I saw the super chat, Alex, and we're definitely going to get back to it. That's why I haven't answered it now, because your super chat is actually going to be, if you see the title, I've changed the title, it's actually going to be the basis of the rest of the show. But when it comes to Leicester, right, there's a serious discussion to be had, and we're going to start it now, and we'll let Toby come in later. Let me just quickly get to this super chat here from Walter. He says, Lee, why did you press call Arteta the pistachio of all managers?
Yeah, the press that do the Zoom calls, some of the ones I just mentioned, they're so far up his arse, it's embarrassing. Oh, Mikel, what does it feel like to be called the Picasso of art? Fuck off, man.
Who called him that?
The table.
Who called him the Picasso of manager?
I have no idea. Somebody called him the Picasso of
managers. That's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, more like the fraud of managers. The Armani Pep is useless, bruv. Like, real talk. So I'm going to go and go on loan to the proper Pep next season. I am joking, by the way. People will actually clip that and go, "Oh, look, he's a fake fan," you know.
Yeah. Learn sarcasm, people. Seriously, it's very important. It's a lovely trait that we love to use on this show. When it comes to Leicester, I mean, look, we have to have the conversation about this Big Six thing now, because I've jokingly brought it up on the Big Six actual show with Turkish. Someone's got to drop out, and there's an argument for both. So if there's any Leicester fans, we got one here, it seems. Big up yourselves. You won the FA Cup. Outside of Amate's video, I do respect your club a lot. I think you guys have been, you've shown that you can do things the right way. You haven't been pumped up by the money. You've done great scouting, and you've leveled up gradually over the years, and you've secured a Premier League title and an FA Cup title. And if Toby was here, he'd be telling you that's the stuff he dreams of, because he hasn't even reached either of those two bits of silverware. And with all the clubs, with all the club's ambition or new stadium and dare to what is it? Dare to what is it?
Dare to
do.
Dare to do.
What does that even mean?
The game is about glory.
It means to give it a good go, and then if it fails, then never mind.
I think Leicester should be taking those tags about dare to do, and the game is about glory, because they're the ones getting the business done. But now we need. Someone just said, "Nah, I'm on Leicester smoke now after the video." The video is just Amati. It's not the club. If the club would put that on their socials, different conversation. But we have to know when an idiot who's a bench player, a backup dancer, has decided to take it too far in club celebrations and send the ball crap his way. Leicester as a club, overall, very well run club, very respectable club, and they're a very likable.
Their scouting network's probably the
scouting
second
network.
or third best.
Unbelievable.
In the
They're
league
signing
after
Samari.
Southampton.
Samari's joining. Samari. Yeah, they've already got that done. So yeah, I mean, and by the way, what do you guys think of Samari before we get into the Big Six debate? Do you think that's Maddison replacement? Because we know Maddison could be, out of all those midfielders, probably the one that could go. They got Telemans, they got Ndidi. So who's leaving there? It's an interesting one.
I've got no idea. I don't know what they're going to do with Maddison. I heard Maddison doesn't get on with Rodgers. Like, I heard he had a bit of a spat in the dressing room. I don't know. I thought it was more of a squad depth option, and I think maybe maybe you will see Tielemans playing. Oh no, I think Tielemans might play further forward, like you see in the FA Cup final. I know he can play from deep and he's got great passing, but I think this season you've seen him get more goals, and that would be the natural progression. Because he always, the concern I've always had of him as a player is he's not quick, but I think this season he's adapted to the pace of the league and he plays the right passes. So maybe Maddison gets put on the bench. See, Leicester can afford to have Maddison on the bench, particularly if they get Champions League.
Yeah, the chat are misconstruing it. I know Samari's a DM. But what I'm saying is that they could change it to Ndidi and Samari as their pivot and put Telemans further forward. So he would be technically replacing Maddison, but he's not going to be Maddison. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's replacing that person in midfield who looks like the most likely to move.
Or Ndidi's going to Man United because he's cheaper than Rice.
Yeah. Do you know what it is with Leicester? They've actually foreseen that bids are probably going to come for their midfielders, and they've already replaced someone before they even needed replacement.
And that's why they're such a good club, Matisse, because their scouting network's just a joke anyway. Like I said, Chelsea, Southampton, and Leicester, they're the best free scouting networks in the country.
Yeah.
Like in the Premier League anyway. Yeah. Then you look at their squad and what they've achieved with that squad. To get up that high in the table, and people say, oh, but it's a fluke. No, it ain't a fluke. They've done it for a couple of years straight now.
Yeah.
Whether they finish top four or not is irrelevant. They've still won the league and they've still won the FA Cup in the last 5 seasons.
I'll tell you what the difference is between Leicester and some of the other clubs that try and punch above their weight, possibly even Tottenham, is when they won that Premier League, they didn't stop. They consolidated. They used the money. They invested it in the squad, invested it in the training ground. And it's no fluke. They've been planning this for years. And that's why you've got to respect them as a club. You see that in the FA Cup final, how much those players wanted it as well. Like, that's what I love to see. I know
how much the owner wanted it. See him on the pitch.
I loved it. It wasn't obviously lovely to watch, but I got a lot of time for it.
When their owner came on the pitch, everyone was hugging him. They gave him the cup. It was like, do you know what? I don't think there's another owner in the Premier League. And I know Roman's pretty good for you guys, and he's always getting involved with the fans and stuff, like buys them pints at the pub and that. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think there's another owner in the Premier League who would have come onto the pitch and got that much love. Off of the players and the coaching staff and the fans. Like maybe Man City's owners as well, but I don't think either of yours or City's would have come on the pitch.
No, definitely not. No. And you know what it's about Leicester, as we was making that point as well. They got Samari for cheap because people didn't when you sell someone and you similar. We could talk about this with West Ham and Tottenham again. You know Declan and Kane are going to be. People are going to be looking for him. Do you sign the striker and DM before you sell them, so you don't have to bid for an extortion amount, or do you buy him after? And the way that they got Samari and they brought him in before the likes of Man United started knocking on the door for Ndidi, before the likes of, you know, whoever started looking for Maddison. They got him at a good rate when they don't have loads of money, and they've already replaced him before they've left. So it's so intelligent. But I've been waiting for Toby to get back so we can address it, because the super chat was with Alex.
Yeah.
Who drops who? Because people say there's no such thing.
I got like 3 minutes left, by the way, guys.
Yeah. All right, no problem. But all right, cool. All right, so
I've heard you're a 3-minute man, Tobs.
I'll put it straight to you. Do you feel like out of Tottenham and Arsenal, do you feel like Tottenham would be the one to drop out of the big six marketing kind of structure, whatever you want to call it?
On trophies, it would be Spurs, because Arsenal have obviously won 3 trophies in 5 years. But I mean, it doesn't make sense you calling yourself a big six side if you don't finish in the big six. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think it would be Arsenal. So, but as I said, trophies, it's Spurs. There's no two ways about it. But if you're actually going off what it says, which is, oh, we're calling you the big six because you consistently finish in the top 6, then why would it be Arsenal? They finished outside of the top 6 last year. They're probably going to finish outside of the top 6 this year. They were the lowest. They've been the lowest of all the big 6 finishers in the last like 4 or 5 years. So,
and still won more than you.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that. If it's on trophies, we drop out.
Yeah, but it should be on everything. It should be on league finishes, not just in 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah, but if you put it on everything, then
in the last 5-6 years.
But if you put it on everything, then you lose out, even with your trophies.
If you're calling it a big 6, is that not about finishing in the top 6?
Exactly.
How do we define
but this whole big 6 is a load of bollocks anyway. Let's be real. Next it'll be the big 8, then it'll be the big 10.
Sorry, guys, I need to go. I need to go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
See you later.
Later.
Yeah, and the reason it's gone from a top 4, a big 4, to a big 6 is because the gap in quality is closed. So now there's the likes of Leicester up there. There's the likes of West Ham in it this season at the moment. Well, you're not your 7th, but you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. I didn't mean to take the piss either. But the thing is, like, the gap has closed. Yeah, and the smaller or the lesser clubs, should we say, are catching like the so-called bigger ones. But like, he's chatting waffle. How can he say if we go back 5-6 years, we still don't make it in the big 6? We've won more than them and finished in that 6 for 4 of the last 6 years. And we've won a trophy twice.
That's what I mean. I think Arsenal are in the big 6 over Tottenham, because this trophy thing, I think we've seriously got to start thinking about Leicester. You win an FA Cup and a Premier League in 5 years. Yeah. And I'm not even digging out Tottenham, because I know that they have been there and thereabouts. But listen, Leicester are the one that capitalised. Tottenham haven't. So what do we do?
I'll go through it, right? So right as it stands, Tottenham are 4 points ahead of Arsenal. 6th, Arsenal 10th. Last season, Tottenham finished in 6th.
Man's on that Neto Wi-Fi, yeah?
Not too deep about that,
by the way.
Soon fix. So Arsenal finished in 8th and Tottenham finished in 6th last season. The season before, Tottenham finished in 4th, Arsenal finished in 5th, 1 point to separate them. And then the season before that, Tottenham finished in 3rd and Arsenal finished in 6th. With a big gap there, That's a massive gap. It's a 14-point gap or something. The season before that, Tottenham finished in 2nd and Arsenal finished in 5th, and about an 11-point gap there. And then the season before that, Arsenal finished in 2nd and Tottenham finished in 3rd, 1 point gap. So I'm not gonna lie to you, outside of just the big 6, that is ridiculous that Arsenal finished behind Tottenham that many seasons in a row. I didn't know it was that many seasons.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true, but now factor in we've won 2 FA Cups in that time and they've won fuck all. That straight away puts us above them. Because we've actually got silver. Like this whole thing of like big 6, yeah. Like I said, it's a Sky Sports and BT Sport thing that internet fans will lap up all day long. Next, it'll be the Big 10. Yeah, because Sky Sports always want there to be some level of drama all the way throughout the whole season. They can't have a closed shop like by February. Yeah, and like they have to make, like, Martin Tyler is embarrassing, by the way. Like, I used to like listening to Martin Tyler. The last 3 years, I just want to slap him. Some of the crap he comes out with is unbelievable. And he makes it so dramatic. It's like you know, when Ndidi scores, yes, Ndidi, like, fucking turn it in, you absolute melt. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, it's not that dramatic, mate, but this is what Sky do. They make things dramatic. And, you know, next it'll be the top 10. It'll be the top 10.
I think the next one will actually be top 7. I think they'll just say European places.
Yeah.
Top 7, and that way everybody, they can keep Leicester. And they'll add Leicester into it, and that will be that, and then they don't have to make these tough
that's
decisions.
all it is, though. It's all about it's all about longing out at the entertainment, or what they see as entertainment. Yeah, because if everything was just done and dusted by February, their product's done.
Yeah,
and that's all it's about. At the end of the day, if you're not first or you don't win a trophy, you've had a shit season. Simple as that. You could finish 8th like we did last season and win the FA Cup. As much as I didn't want to finish 8th, I'm taking that cup all day long. We've won a trophy. Yeah, this season Leicester might finish 5th, 6th, whatever, but they've won an FA Cup. Tottenham, well, whoopie-doo, you finished 4th. You won nothing. Yeah, so you're third loser. Yeah, well, yeah, but you can attract better players in the Champions League. Bollocks. We signed Alexis Sanchez, without Champions League football, didn't we? Do you know what I'm saying? We signed Aubameyang without Champions League football. It's mad. We signed Pepe, record signing without Champions League. Man United signed Pogba, record signing, no Champions League.
Champions League. This is what I was trying to get it. This is what I was trying to get across the
and this is a thing. This is a thing that's peddled by the mainstream media, that you have to get in that top 4 to be able to attract better players. What a load of bollocks. If you pay the money, or sometimes pay over the odds, you'll get the player. It's as simple as that. If Arsenal wanted Harry Kane, and bid 250 million quid for him, they're taking it. Fact.
But if what you got over Tottenham, though, as Arsenal, is you're a bit of an institution. You've won things. So even if Arsenal slip out, because they're such a massive club in England, you've got heritage and all these types of things. That's why you can compete even when you're outside. I'm not convinced Tottenham, the minute they drop out of the top 8, I don't think they will, but they could do next season. I mean, you look at their club now, they don't know who their manager's going to be. They don't know who their star striker's going to be. They've got a stadium that they're labelled with a load of debt on. And they've not won anything in that time.
So you're spitting facts.
Good. I love it. I can't wait till next season, man. I know we'll probably be struggling, but honestly, they've got big issues. They are very much in the mud.
They can't stand their owners. They've won fuck all. They've got no manager, and their top boy, their star boy, is going to Man City. Yeah, and they're going to have Tammy Abraham spooning headers over the bar from 3 yards all season. It's going to be class, isn't it?
They're going to have to pay 40 mil to get him out and all. Chelsea got 40 mil for Tammy. No way. No way.
Jokes. I swear, if he signs for them, I will fucking piss myself. Toby will have to disappear for a few weeks, mate, because I'll just ruin him. After the slander he gave Tammy, if he ends up at his football club, I am finishing him.
It's not like when Liverpool dropped out of Champions League football under God knows who, and they had Stuart Downing and Joe Cole and those type of guys in their team.
Paul Konchesky.
Yeah, Paul Konchesky. Do you remember them days, Liverpool fans, fam? Do you remember them days of Liverpool? They were in the mud back then. And Ryan Babel and all those guys. And then it's not like when they dropped out, or now we've seen Arsenal drop out. Tottenham are not that big when it comes to they're not a big club in comparison to those clubs. So dropping out, they haven't built that. They just haven't built those foundations to drop out. And then if you drop out and keep your key players, then yeah, of course you've still got a quality team. But to lose Harry Kane and to think who would be coming in, this is why I say whoever comes in for Harry Kane is gonna show where Tottenham, what direction they're going in. I honestly don't think they can attract too much more than someone said. Stop that, a Liverpool fan. I didn't know there's any Liverpool fans watching. Sorry.
But even Liverpool, even when Liverpool did, right? Even when they won that Champions League in 2005 and they got to the final 2000, they didn't have the best squad. They still did it. That's because they got a heritage. Do you know what I mean?
And that's a great point as well. Listen, Liverpool are the second most successful club in this country after United. Yeah. Then Arsenal are third, Chelsea are fourth. Them 4 clubs right there, any of them could finish 10th or 12th and still attract top players. Yeah, I wouldn't say they would be the elite world superstars, but they'd still be of a decent top level. For us to sign Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who before this season everyone was raving about, to sign him with Europa League football, that shows how big we are as a club. You guys finished 10th, and then signed Antonio Conte. Who else did you sign that season? You signed. I
think we brought in Kante as well that season. I think.
Was it
from Leicester?
Drinkwater? Did he come in as well?
I think maybe, yeah. I don't know. No, that was the season after.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, I think you did sign Kante that season. Was it that season you signed him? Yeah, it was. Yeah, the chat's confirmed it. It was. Yeah, and he had just won a title.
Yeah.
At Leicester.
Yeah.
So you know, this is the thing. Chelsea are massive. Chelsea's fan base is probably bigger than Arsenal's now. Yeah, that's not even a piss take. I'd reckon your fan base, if it's not bigger, it's on par. Yeah, globally. Yeah, because what you've built over the last 15 years or so has just been unreal. I'd love to have the success you lot have had. I'd love to have a fucking owner you lot have got. Yeah, but at the end of the day, us 4 clubs that I've just mentioned there, them 4 clubs, the only 4 clubs in this country that can finish 10th and still sign decent players. Yeah, Tottenham, they ain't got nothing. Like when he was talking about, oh, it's not black and white. Well, black and white was when the last time they won a league. Yeah, and that's not even taking the piss. It's fact. Yeah, they haven't won a trophy for 13 years. Why would you want to sign for that club? Because no matter how shit we are, we won one last year. Yeah, you guys win one every other year or every year pretty much. Yeah. You know, Liverpool, they went through that mad slump, but they're Liverpool, the history, the tradition, their fans, you know, they're the Champions League nights. They make it special environment at the grounds and stuff like that. It's mad. Man United are Man United. Yeah, Liverpool are Liverpool. Us two, we're a little bit down from that. Yeah, but us two, I think we're pretty much on par. You've caught us right up from where we were. We're the only 4 clubs that can do that, finish 10th and get decent players. Yeah, and teams like, no disrespect to Corey's team, yeah, or Leicester or Tottenham.
Tottenham are in that, but they're in that bucket.
Yeah, they're in the
that bucket.
Yeah, they're in the. We have to try and get a gem and hope it works. Yeah, good recruitment and stuff like that. And this is where Tottenham are going to struggle massively when Kane leaves. Right? Remember when Bale left and they brought all them bums?
Oh God, yeah. I don't think
it's going to happen again.
One of those signings worked. They bought Chadley.
The only one that worked.
Chadley.
Ericsson, wasn't it?
Ericsson.
The only one that's still here, I think, is Lamella.
Yeah, Lamella was
Lamella and all. Other than that, Rabona, that was about it, wasn't it? That was the only decent hit he's done, I think, for them. 30 mil they spent on him. At the time, that was a fair whack as well.
Yeah, that'd be 60 mil now.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the thing. They've had their success. You know, they've had their time. The Poch and that team that they had, and
like Merson said, what success?
it hurt me to say at the time. I think it was like 2016, 17. Their squad was unbelievable. Like the balance of the players that they had, and they didn't do what they needed to do. And now the cycle's come around, and you've got to rebuild, and you just got to. And I think Tottenham would do well to have a little bit of humility going into this window, just in terms of managerial appointment, because they don't have a heritage of an Arsenal or a Liverpool, Man United. Look, managers will look at them and say, I'm not fully convinced. I'm going to have to work on a shoestring budget with a completely new squad. Do I risk it? So I know people laugh at Graham Potter. I don't think it's that bad an appointment.
He's quality, man. I'd take him at Arsenal. Right.
I mean, they spank us every time we play Brighton. So, I mean, that'd be a couple of points to them.
City yesterday and beat them 3-2. Come on, man. When was the last time Arsenal actually beat City in the fucking league? Yeah?
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think they do need to show a bit of humility. And I think they do need to bring in, I don't want to go with the Premier League proven because it doesn't always work out that way. But they do need to bring in some guys like Potter, I think, potentially, and like some strikers that I've mentioned from this league and build up again. And I think Calvert-Lewin, someone like that, I know Toby doesn't agree. I think that would be a great signing for them. From where they are right now, where they're looking like going, to bring in a young, promising striker like that, or someone of Tammy Abraham's type, I think they would do well to get a player in like that. Because the danger you can do now is do what they did last time and buy in all of these, European players with experience, and it doesn't work out because they don't acclimatize to the league, and they actually end up doing worse. So I don't know what direction they're going to go in, but it's going to be fun if it's down.
Look at West Ham. It's not the same thing. It would be funny, but it's not the same thing. But look at West Ham for I think we spent 100 million one transfer window, and we finished 11th, and it didn't work. And all of a sudden, we signed Souček, Soufal, Jarrod Bowen, and we look like a proper team. That's what I'm saying. I think sometimes people think you've got to go and get the name in, but in truth, you just need hungry players. And you see what West Ham have done this season.
Yeah, West Ham, a great example 100%. Of that. Leicester scouting is a great example of that. And Chelsea, by the way, not to shit on my own team too much, but look how much money we spent over the summer bringing in all these exports, and it didn't. They're all still adapting. It didn't propel us to where we expected it to. So I don't think dashing money at it is always the right way to go. What you got to do is do some good scouting and make sure that the team benefits and make it into a team. So yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah, ones. I'm just reading. Sorry to cut you. Yeah, I'm just reading the comments. Right, Man City. Graham Potter had 60% possession overall in that game yesterday against Man City. I know they went down to 10 men, which was harsh, by the way, really harsh. But in the second half, Brighton had 74%. Come on, man. When was the last time a Pep team got out-possessioned by a fucking Premier League team like that heavy? I don't think I've seen anyone 74%.
Doesn't happen. No, it doesn't happen often.
I know they had 10 men, but they still went 2-0 up with 10 men.
The thing is with Brighton, if they had Danny Ings, they'd be top off. I guarantee you they'd top off 100%.
All day long.
Yeah.
Mate, if they had Aubameyang, they'd probably be in the top 4.
Yeah,
not Aubameyang from this season because he's just disappeared, but then it's disappeared because our system's just shit. The way they play, man, they are actually brilliant to watch. But somebody made a good point to me earlier because I put it out on Twitter saying I'd take him at Arsenal, and they said, yeah, but Brighton teams set up against Brighton differently as to how they would against Arsenal, which is a fair point.
Yeah,
but that's irrelevant. When he went in there, it was the fucking bum that he got sacked. He used to be Tottenham manager. What's his fucking name? Chris Hughton. Chris Hughton stinking the gaff out with Park the Bus football. He's gone in there. He's had hardly any money to spend, and now they're playing attractive football. Yes, they're right down near the bottom, of course, but they've got Danny Welbeck and Mal Pye up front for God's sake.
Yeah, it's bad.
Come on, man. You're right. If they had Danny Ings and Welbeck, for example, they'd definitely be top half. Yeah, they're quality to watch, man. I love watching them.
I'll tell you who's quality, Basuma. I think if you're Arsenal, you go and get him in 100, give him 40, 50 mil because he's definitely worth it. Honestly, the way he plays football, he's very well rounded. For me, he looks like a top 6 player. Someone will get him. Man United could get him. I think it'd be good. I hope
we get him. And do you know what, right? I think that if you put him next to Thomas Partey will be levels better than he's been this season because he's chasing around after Granit Xhaka's mistakes.
It's exactly the same as Declan Rice and Souček. Souček comes in, Declan looks like a better player. It's all about partnerships, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he is a great player. I think, we'll see if he gets the move that he deserves. It'll be interesting to see if he gets the quote unquote big 6 move, or it was a club just below that, like an Everton, you might go in. I don't know.
Or West Ham.
Yeah, or West Ham. I mean, can you guys afford?
If Declan goes, we'll chuck money at someone like him. I mean, I'm not sure whether he'd come or not, but yeah, definitely. I'd definitely have him at West Ham. We need another midfielder to be. I'll get Sander Berg from Sheffield United.
You actually have Granit Xhaka if you want.
No, that's all right, mate. I hedge my bets. Do you know what? Like West Ham, there's so many decent relegated players out there at the minute that I think we could go and nick. Like I said earlier,
Buendia at Norwich.
I'll take him. I would have taken Cantwell, but I think he's dipped a little bit. Ivan Toney from Brentford.
Ivan Toney's quality.
He's a quality player.
Yeah, he's doing good things as well. Maybe Tottenham can get him in. Don't think
he's an Arsenal fan. There's no way he's going to Tottenham. I swear. If he goes Tottenham, bruv, I swear I'm going to go mad.
Is he that much of an Arsenal fan? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think he is an Arsenal fan. A couple of my pals know him, innit? Like really well. They'll go out together and that. I'm sure he's an Arsenal fan. I'll ask him. I'm sure he's a good. He can't go to Tottenham, bruv. No way can he go to that dead ball club, bruv.
It would be a big step up, though, if he would see it as a big step up in his career if he was to go there. It would be a lot of pressure, though, to replace Harry Kane.
Apparently, he's a Liverpool fan. My apologies. I thought he was Arsenal.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask my mate. I'm gonna.
He could definitely go to Tottenham. Govan says the big 6 is about top 6 finishes and money. Yeah, I think so. But trophies. I don't know. It really depends on whatever Sky Sports feel that week. Roran says Ryan Mason's 6-year deal incoming 100 million plus Nketiah for Kane. Arsenal are not in a position to bring a man like that in, unfortunately. Shaka says sign Suarez without UCL money. Without UCL. Is that true? You guys were still building under who was it that you were building under? Was it Rodgers? I can't remember the manager. I don't feel like it was Rodgers. I thought it was like Roy Hodgson.
Might have been Roy Hodgson.
Because they sold Fernando Torres. And they sold Fernando Torres. They definitely wasn't playing Champions League football. They were having a down season because Torres wasn't on form. He got injured as well. And they brought in Suarez and Andy Carroll. Now, to be fair, though, Suarez was one of them guys that was very talented in the Dutch league, in the Eredivisie. But he wasn't like, do you know what I mean? He wasn't like one of them players that was like, everybody was talking about too much. So I guess it was a very clever buy from you guys, but it wasn't a player that you wouldn't attract without Champions League football, if you see what I'm saying. It was Rodgers, was it? Was it Rodgers? Dalglish? Some people are saying Dalglish. It was Dalglish.
I think it was Dalglish, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Dalglish. Yeah, it wasn't either of the guys we said. It was Dalglish. Yeah, it was Dalglish. So yeah, and listen, that just goes to show the story of legends walking into clubs and not doing great jobs continues. Shearer, Dalglish is ridiculous. Arteta. Lampard getting sacked. It's just the list just goes on.
He's going Palace, isn't he? What do you think of that?
Is he going Palace? Is he though? That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't personally feel like Palace really suits him that much. I think give him a young team would have been better for him than to give him, some of the players that they've got. I think their squad is very, very confusing in how they're trying to build going forward. So I don't really know, but it'll be interesting. I don't know if it's going to really suit him, and I don't know if that's really the most enticing project to go to at Palace. Like, where are you taking Palace? I don't really know. You've got Zaha, who is way.
You should go back to Derby. Go and work with Rooney. Well, they only got relegated. My youngest brother supports Derby. Yeah. All season he was giving it the big one at the start of the season. Yeah. And he's been quiet all season. They literally stayed up by the skin of their teeth. Just get Lampard back, innit? He done all right.
I don't think that was. I personally think the best move for him was to go to Celtic, if that was available. I think Neil Lennon was he got sacked, didn't he? Neil Lennon in the end.
Yeah.
It
was awful.
I think Celtic to go to Celtic and challenge with Gerrard for the Scottish title was the best move, because Celtic are always going to be up there. So and it would have been a good battle. But to go to Palace, I think you're just walking into a potential relegation, in my opinion. That club for me, they've been asking for it for a while. I just think because they've got Wilfried Zaha and they've got a couple talented individuals that can claw them out, they've managed to keep their head above.
If somebody comes in Nick Zeze this summer, and or Zaha, who looks like he can't be asked anymore, he just wants to fight everyone. He don't even want to play football anymore. He just wants to punch people.
Yeah.
Then they'll be finished.
Yeah,
Eze's out, isn't he? Eze's out.
Eze's out for a while, so
yeah. They're in serious trouble.
They're in
big trouble.
Yeah, and I think 18 players out of Palace are out of contract. Someone said, I didn't know that.
Fucking hell, 18.
Where did you get that information from? And how the hell?
I think it's like 10, 11, isn't it? It's still like a whole first team, but
it's a lot. But it's not. It can't be 18, surely.
If that's 18, then Jesus Christ, is Simon Jordan still running the club? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Eze out for a year, he should stay clear. Yeah, honestly, I think if Lampard goes in there, he's potentially walking into he's walking into some bullshit right there. It's not going to go well for him, in my opinion. But yeah, we're going to.
Ivan Toney supports Liverpool, by the way.
Oh, okay, there's it confirmed. We're going to wrap up soon. I just want to kind of get you guys' perspective before we go on this Champions League versus FA Cup debate. Just to circle back to that as we close up, what do you guys think is more important, an FA Cup success or Champions League qualification? Or does it depend on the club?
I think it depends on the club, to be honest. Every sort of top 4 team fan that I've spoke to is very much like, we need this for our long-term success. Whereas as a West Ham fan, if we finish 17th this year, I've said this for so long, and we got an FA Cup, that's a successful season for me. That's what it's all about. But then I think you get to a level when you've been in the Champions League for 2-3 years and you've attracted all these players and you've got that money, you become like Tottenham have, where you become so reliant on it that if you drop out, that's your success gone. So for me, I think it's more of a perspective thing, but FA Cup for me is much more important.
What about you, Lee? Because you won the FA Cup this season and then this happened. So what do you think?
What was the question?
About what's more important, the FA Cup or the Champions League? Because people say,
FA Cup or Champions League finishing or winning it?
No, I'm not winning it. I mean, like qualifying for the Champions League. Or
the FA Cup. It's a trophy. You ain't going to sit down and tell your grandkids that, we finished 4th, 22 years ago. You're going to say, remember this, or I remember this vividly. We've got to Wembley, we won the cup, and blah blah. No, it's all about trophies, man. Fuck 4th's third loser.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You got 2 polar opposites there. You guys have already heard my thoughts on this channel. I would have just said, listen, the FA Cup is a trophy, and we can still qualify for the Champions League via winning the Champions League, which I think a lot of people seem to forget. Yes, it's the most difficult challenge ever, but it's still there. But yeah, it's been a good show. There's been a lot to talk about there, a lot to unpackage. Next time we speak, the Premier League season would have been finished as well. So that will be interesting to see where everybody falls and who collects that prestigious European Conference League place out of the 3 of you.
Hey, what did I say a couple of weeks back and you laughed at me, yeah? I said West Ham are going to finish 8th.
Honestly, I swear.
Make sure we get that clip out as well, yeah?
Oh my God.
I'll have to take it on the chin, to be honest. Like, if we do finish 8th, I will be gutted.
And I think he was 4th when I said that. I might be wrong. 4th, you were definitely 5th at least. But I think he was 4th. But Chelsea had a game in hand.
Yeah.
So that tonight. You'll know tonight. If we lose tonight,
we'll know.
That's it.
Who you got tonight?
West Brom, Big Sam at the Hawthorns. The worst type of game that you want.
Bro. That's a draw. That's got draw written all over it.
I know. I did the preview for my channel, and I was like, I'm gonna go West Ham win. I said I can't. There's a nagging feeling in the back of my head. It's gonna be Big Sam masterclass, and we're gonna. If we draw tonight, it's over, man.
Hal Robson Canu's back as well. He scored at the week. Maybe that's a striker Spurs could go for.
We're gonna have all summer to watch this shit show.
I'm just gonna get ripped. Some of the players they're gonna get linked to is just gonna get battered every Wednesday, mate.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. I've already started thinking of the names, the sheet. But until then, listen, guys, make sure you get them likes up. Still over 1,000 of you in here. Make sure you smash them likes on the show. Make sure you subscribe as well. The links will be in the description. Lee, let them know where to find you, bro. Any content coming up?
Loads, man. 5:45, I'll be doing the match day vibes. That's all it is now. It's vibes. That's all. It's vibes on the channel. So me and Tom will be doing that at 5:45, straight after the game, because I don't do watch-alongs anymore. It's painful enough watching it without trying to interact whilst watching it. After the game, I'll be doing the video calling show, and then fan cams will be bust out all night. But yeah, Lee Gunner 82. Follow my Instagram, people, man. Listen, I've got nearly 60k followers on YouTube, and I'm not even on 14k on Insta. So Lee Gunner 82 on Insta. Don't worry about the other socials. Maybe subscribe, Lee Gunner. Other than that, yeah, man. Thanks for having me on again, mate. This is getting better and better every week. Toby's got so shook he's bounced, and I finished my popcorn. It's all good, isn't it?
Life is good. I'm gonna be praying that this, I'm still obviously you see in Thomas Tuchel's quotes that he's listening, shut up and focus on Aston Villa. So I'm praying nothing goes wrong in the final day of the season, and hopefully I'll be still with a smile on my face this time next week as we build up to the Champions League final. Corey, bro. A lot to think about for the last day of the season, but let them know where to find you. There's gonna be a lot of content coming out, whatever happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna be screaming and shouting. I've got a watch along tonight, which again I'm buzzing just to end these watch alongs and get back in the ground because, like Lee says, the interactive side. I just want to watch football, watch it properly, and start screaming and shouting. But yeah, got that tonight on the West Ham way, and then obviously we'll have loads of pre-match stuff as well leading up to Sunday, which is a huge game, and I'm hoping Tottenham slip up because that Sunday is gonna be big for us. We could get a Europa League spot, so. Hopefully Big Sam doesn't do us over tonight. That would be... He'd love that though, wouldn't he? He'd absolutely love it. He'd be cupping his ear to the fans and everything. But everything crossed, mate. Everything crossed.
We shall hope. We shall pray. Guys, make sure you smash the likes. Come on, we should have 500 likes in the minimum at this point.
Smash the likes up, man. All of the rat army in this show. If you haven't liked the content, then you're snakes, not rats.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, you love this show. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's get it up. You love the weekly shows. The weekly shows are killing it. I'm looking forward to getting back to London. Probably this time next week I'll be back making videos as well, slapping them on top of the live stream. So
can I just very quickly before we go as well?
Yeah,
Dammy was moving mad last night.
Yes. What a night he had. What a night. I mean, he got the shirt from Mendy. He met Thiago Silva's wife. Blew Twitter up for sure. So yeah.
I looked at them tweets he put out, bro. They've gone mad viral, both of them. The one where he's dancing with Thiago Silva's wife, bro.
That's actually creepy. I was like, fair play, mate. Fair play.
So random, but yeah, it was last night's game was pure vibes. It was just obviously it was great to get the result, but the fight. A load of people met Thiago Silva's wife, she's probably the best wag we've ever had at our club.
Wait, normally the wags sit up in the box.
She's brilliant. She's super interactive. She's always watching the game live as well. She's at home and commentating over it. I'm pretty sure she called out Timo Werner one time for all of his misses as well.
She's got to be putting out that tweet, finding Timo, brother. So.
Yeah, man, she's quality. Do you know what I mean? She's quality. And then obviously the fight happened, which was great banter. Yeah. We haven't seen that in football.
It was mad entertaining, bro. Brilliant. I can't lie. That game was quality last night.
Yeah, it was brilliant to watch. And the shirt from Mendy just capped it off. And because Dammy, he's very tall. He's like 6'5". The only shirt he could have got that would have fit him would have been Mendy's. So thank God it was him and not Aspilicueta or someone, because he's not been able to put that on. So yeah.
Very quickly, one more thing. What happened to the American Iwobi, bro? I didn't see him last night. Did he play?